Alrighty, so if you're here for the 14 playoff, we're going to back out of this screen right now. And now that we've got the file saved onto here, we're going to back out of NCAA. I'm going to back out all the way to my, I'm going to dashboard it. I'm going to back all the way to my dashboard because it doesn't matter. We've saved the file now. It is on our flash drive. So I'm going to actually break. This is now going back to my computer. I'll be back with you in a few seconds and we'll be at my computer. Hi there guys. So this is actually the first part of the PC if you're the 14 playoff. So we're going to move from there. Basically the thought process with this is I'm going to take the top 4 teams for 14 playoff and they're just going to duke it out. I'll have 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. Kind of like that. So the way I'm thinking about it is you'll have the top 4 teams. So once I get past conference championship, I can write the teams down here, which is why I got this little notepad, which is very useful when you're trying to keep information together because you're going to be typing a lot of stuff, remembering a lot of numbers. So those are where I'm going to put the 4 teams once we get to conference championship. Then I'm going to come here, and the thing that I need to do is I need to know where number 1, number 2, which is obviously going to be the national title, and then 3 and 4, which bowls they're in. For the time being, I've got on here thinking, all right, well, Rose Bowl and Sugar Bowl, those may be potential spots where the number 2 or number 3 and number 4 teams will be. And then I've got this bowl right here. So I will open it up and I'll show you. I'm going to go through the process of opening Modio and then open the EA DB editor. So let's go through that and I'll explain why I've picked the BBVA Compass Bowl, but we'll go from there. So what you want to do is, here's your Modio file. It's this little M thing right here. And I know when I click this, it's going to ask me if I want to let this be allowed. And obviously I do. Yes, let that run through. And then it'll take a little bit to load up. And then once it does, it should be right over here. Right there. There we go. So now, this is a little Modio thing. It's going to be on your right, and then you've got these options here. Open a save, open from a device, explore a device, and then download a game save. What you want to do is you want to go to this open from a device with your USB plugged into your computer. Because when you click this, see, it's recognizing this USB down here. So you need to make sure it recognizes that, and then when you open it, it'll open this file. So I've got right here, this is actually, my little brother has some file on here, so this is actually his account because I've been testing it, and this one's mine. So you want to click, you know, if you have multiple files on your USB that has multiple gamer tags, you want to click between, but I know this one's mine. You double click on that, and then right here, you see how it has an NCAA Football 14? I'll click on that, and there we go. So we've got my profile, which is saved on the flash drive, and then we've got the 2 save files that we've got, the 4 team and the 8 team. So we're going to open up this 4 team, double click on that, and now it's going to get the file. I'm going to open a little window right here. So you got a bunch of stuff over here, but the one thing you want to be worried about is right here, this file contents. You'll click on this, and then right here, bam, this is where you need to go. And now you right click it, and then what you want to do is extract the file, and you want to put this somewhere where you'll know where to get it. So I've made a folder on my desktop that's NCAA playoff folder, which is right here. And I'm in this folder inside of that's Test Dynasty folder, where I'm just going to keep all my files, that way I'm organized. So I'm going to save that right here, the Dynasty 4 team. I'm going to save that. So now it's right into there, and we're done with Modio for right now. We're going to leave it open though, because we're going to have to come back to it and edit some stuff once we get done with our edit. But right now, you want to put all this stuff on top, and you want to open this EA DB editor. That's the next application we're going to have to open. Going to open this up, and it looks like this blank thing. You might be thinking something went wrong, but no, this is what's happening right now. We got to actually load the configuration for it. So we'll click on this guy, it'll load config, and I know when you download everything, there should be files right here. You got to open this Zan's NCAA Football, NCAA 14 Dynasty configuration. So you open this file, and it'll take a little bit to load. It's opening up a few things. But once it loads up, it'll give a bunch of tabs, which is a bunch of things that you can edit. So I think it's opening right now, right here. And right now you can see the tabs kind of forming. And there we go. So we got a bunch of these tabs, which will open stuff that we can edit. But now what do we got to do is, so we've opened the configurations. Now it has places to open the file. So now we've actually got to open our file. So I've got it in my Test Dynasty folder. And you want to go down to here, this little drop down menu, and click All. So this will open the file, and then right there is the file that we just extracted from our USB. So we'll open this file, And this is going to take a little bit to load, so I may fast forward through this point. It kind of took a little while when I was testing it just before I recorded this, just to make sure. But yeah, it'll probably take a few minutes to load, maybe around 5 minutes, because it's a lot of files that it's got to actually open and try and get into here. So I'll probably skip to that, and once we get there, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so now all the files have loaded, and as you can see right here, we've got a bunch of stuff all loaded in, and everything looks to be fine. So I'm going to actually make this bigger, so that you can see what I'm scrolling through actually. So right here, I got this right here, and now one of the things that you can do is I go to the game number, and then I go to the week number. Alright, so that's all set up right now. So we've got this ready to go, and what you can do, this is the schedule. Actually, you need to go to places. I went to the wrong one. So you click this bowl ID, which will sort these guys into their right numbers. Let's see if it's the game. Yeah, the games one actually does it a lot better. If you click that, and now what we want to do is we want to go and get the ID numbers for our game. So right here it says game number. We want to go and pick our game. So as of right now, we can grab the national title because we know that's going to be a for sure game. So we know that's 39. So I'm going to type that in there. We got 39. Let's look at the it's right here, BBVA Compass Bowl. This one's 38. So we'll type that in. And then I'm actually going to grab all the BCS bowls for the time being. Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl. Because we don't know which one number 2, or number 3 and number 4 are going to be in. So Fiesta Bowl. And we'll just decide what they're, but we're going to grab all the numbers for now. Let's see, Fiesta Bowl is 34. 34, and then I think Rose Bowl's right underneath that, which is 33. We got Sugar Bowl, which is maybe up a little further. I must be missing it. There's Orange Bowl, which is 36. Oh, it's All-State Sugar Bowl. That's why I couldn't find it. So we got Sugar Bowl, which is 35. Okay, so those are all our bowls that are probably going to be the teams. And now I'm going to explain right here. It'll probably get a better explanation in the 18 playoff because that's where we use it more. But for right now, we've got this BBVA Compass Bowl. And my thought process for this is I looked for a bowl that wasn't too big, that I wasn't too worried about, because that's going to be where we're going to take teams from. So we've got the SEC's 9th best team against the American Athletic Conference's 4th best team. So that's the bowl bid for that, and I was thinking, it's, you know, kind of a shitty bowl. So one thing I also wanted to check, though, is if there was any worse, because I want to take the worst teams in those two conferences then, since it's ACC, or not ACC, but SEC and the American Athletic Conference's team. So let us make sure that we are not taking a team that's midway through their conference and just taking their bowl away. So right there, I don't see any more American. I think that is the highest for the American Athletic Conference. What we can do is sort of like this, and we'll see highest number here, 9, and that's the SEC. See, that's the highest number, which is the BBVA Compass Bowl. And then one thing I also like to do is check the American Athletic Conference and just make sure I'm not taking away their best team. So yeah, it's the 4th best for the American. So that's the one we're going to take. All right. So I don't have any qualms about that now. So we'll go back over here, sort this by games. Alrighty. So now we've got our numbers and we've got our teams. When we do the 18 playoffs, it's going to be more important there. But now we just know that whoever the 9th best team in the SEC and the 4th best team in the American, they're going to lose their bowl bid and they're not going to have any stats. But the best way to do this to save stats is to remove somebody's bowl bid. So 14 playoff, you only remove 2 teams. So you got to remember that. So now we know what these guys are, what these bowls. We don't have to edit anything else, I don't think. So we can go back to the Xbox and we can start, we can advance to the bowl season, at least for this file. And then we'll move forward with this. So I think we are good. We didn't touch anything, but we at least got the numbers. So that's what we got to do with this. So I'm going to save this file. You click the file and then you save it. I don't think we need to save anything, but it's going to be saved right now. And it usually takes a bit, and then it gives you this done right here. That's how you know it's saved. So we're done with that. We can exit out this EA DB editor. And then we're going to bring up these two Modio files. If the other one would come up. There we go. Alrighty, so now you're going to come over here, and the process to do this, you're going to right click it, and you're going to replace the file with the one that you just made. So it'll take a little bit to load up the files that we've made for the time being. Alrighty, there we go. So there's this file right here, which is this Dynasty-4, and you can see the type file is a database file. You don't want that one, you want this file, okay? You'll click on that and you'll click open. It'll replace that file, and then once it's replaced, you go back to the general file info when it starts responding again. And once it goes to here, you want to go right to here. There's this save to device. You want to click this button, and it's going to bring up that profile ID thing again. And you want to click on your profile ID, which is my guy right here, the second one. And I want to click select. And then once it does that, it's going to save. And the one thing you need to make sure before you try to take out your USB drive is this thing right here. You can kind of see it right now while it's saving. There's this NCAA football file. See how it changed to save to device and then change back? That's how you know that everything's saved and everything's good to go. So I'm going to exit out of Modio. Everything's going to close out of there, and I'm just going to eject my USB. I don't know if you have to do this. I think this is the safest way. This is how you know that all the files are going to be saved and you don't corrupt anything when you pull it out. So right click this. Computer's moving a little slow today. It's kind of old, but you'll eject your flash drive. Mine's the travel drive. Eject that out. Once it gives me the okay and says cool to disconnect, then we're good to go. We can remove it. Right there. Safe to remove the hardware. I'm going to remove it. And then we're going to go back to the Xbox. So we're going to plug this guy in, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, now we're back on the Xbox after we didn't really mod, but we checked some things through the file, through our Modio and then our EA DB editor. So we're going to open this up right now. We're going to go into NCAA, and I'm going to show you how to get back into your file that you've edited at this point. If you've edited, you can edit some other things if you want, but I'm not really going to cover those because I haven't really delved too much into that, but I just know how to put the play out for now. So we're going to get to the main screen. We're going to get to where our Dynasty is. Then we're going to go in there and we're going to advance to the bowl season. And then once we're there, we can start figuring out all our other stuff and we will move on from there. But yeah, this, again, NCAA. If you haven't ever played it, it does unanimous for a lot of loading times. So right now, we're just waiting here, connecting to the EA server. It doesn't really matter. We aren't really playing online or any of that. But yeah. Then right here, you want to go to your memory unit, all right? Not your hard drive, because remember, you've saved on the memory unit. You want to be playing off of that, and you're just going to continually save through that until you finish your file. And then once that's finished, then you can save it back onto your hard drive after the whole process is done. But until then, just play off your first file. So as you can see, we've got two files here, which may be confusing, but I think the first one is our 4 team. Actually, it's not. I have lied to you. It is our 8 team. Because why would it be in numerical order? Why would it be? So we're going to back out of that. So it's a second file, I guess. Because I think it may be the file that was most recently edited is later on, I'm assuming. Because yeah, there we go. There's our 4 team, the one that we did edit. If we did, but we really didn't. So we're going to go back into here, and now we're here, so we're going to advance to the bowl season. And you don't want to go to the end of bowl season, you just want to go to the bowl season. So we're going to advance, and we'll see who our top 4 teams are, because that's the way I'm doing it. You can do it any way, however you want to do it, but just for this example, I'm doing the top 4 teams. So whoever that may be, I think when I checked it, it was like Miami, Texas A&M, I can't remember the other 2 teams, but I do remember Miami and Texas A&M were up there. So we'll see how this goes. Should go pretty quick because conference championship is like 4 games. So once we get to there, then we'll start writing down all of the I guess the bowls are, I'll at least write down on my notepad that I had before right here, the top 4 teams, and we'll figure out which bowls they're in too, and then I'll show you how to make the matchup once we get there. So yeah, we're heading right there. Shouldn't be too much longer, reevaluating players and stuff, and there we go. Alrighty, and oh sweet, Arizona actually got to the Sun Bowl. That's very nice. I'm happy with that. Because when we did sim, we lost to Washington, UCLA, and Oregon, which is kind of believable. So let us see right now. So yep, Texas A&M and Miami are number 1 and number 2. Those two flopped, but I guess it doesn't really matter. UCLA and then Boise State. Who was number 4? Because they lost. Alabama. Alabama lost to Missouri. Okay. So there's our top 4 teams. I guess Boise State got in, UCLA, Texas A&M, and Miami. So I'm actually going to write this down really quick on my little notepad. We got Miami, Florida. We got Texas A&M. We got UCLA. And then finally we got Boise State. Which is actually usually surprising. I haven't seen Boise State this high in a sim in a long time. Who did they play this year? Yeah, they lost to Washington. That's the only team that they've lost to. All right. So, yeah, now we've got our teams lined up, and we're going to check the bowl matches to see who's playing who. So, once we get into there, thought I clicked it, we will figure out who we need to move. So, BBVA Compass Bowl. Where is that? There it is. Okay, so we got to move Mississippi State and Ohio. So we didn't even have to worry about that because Ohio didn't even play anybody. So I'm going to write that down as well. Again, like I said, it would probably be a great idea to have a piece of paper or use Notepad like I'm using to make sure all the things that you're writing down so you don't have to keep going back and forth. So we got in the BBVA Compass Bowl. Wow. We've got Ohio and Mississippi State. So those two will be losing their bowl bid, unfortunately. In the national championship, we got Miami and Texas A&M. Now, what are our other teams? Boise State is in the Orange Bowl. So Orange Bowl is one of those bowls that we've got to remember to edit. So we got Boise State versus Va-Tech. And then our other one is UCLA, who is in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Okay, so the other bowl games that I wrote down, we don't have to worry about those. We just have to worry about the 4 bowls that we have right now. The BBVA Compass Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and then the National Championship. So on my notepad, I'm going to delete the Fiesta Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. I know you can't see that, but I'll delete those right there. And I think that is about it that we need from right here. But all we need to do is then save the file again. So we'll go right here and we'll go to save. And we're just going to save right over the 14 playoff. We're going to save it right there. Overwrite the memory unit, yes. So we're going to save our file. Once that's done, we're good to go. We can back out of here, and I'm going to dashboard this. So all done with that, we're back to the dashboard, and I will meet you guys back at my computer where we will start editing that again. We'll get back into the Modio and all that, so it'll kind of be like a step 2 of how to get into Modio. Alrighty, so now we're back on the computer, and we've got our new file. So we're going to go through the process again. You open Modio. It'll open this application. I do not know if it's going to ask me again. It may or may not, and it does. Yes, I would like that. And now here we go. It's going to open our Modio file up. And there we go. Like I said before, you use the open from a device. And once you click on this, it'll find your device. And then for me, it's the second one because that's my gamer tag. You may have to click and decide which one is yours. Usually the one that is an NCAA Football, unless both of them do. You'll have to kind of decide from there. But once you get into that NCAA, you can check where things are. So right here, there's my game save or whatever, the Dynasty 4 team. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to get the file. And then right here we go. We got to go to this file contents. And then right here, we're going to right click and we're going to extract the file. And then it's already here. So we're going to save over it. So we're going to save. It's going to ask you already have it, already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I would. I want to replace that file. And we're done with Modio. We're going to go back to our EA DB editor. And once this brings up, again, it looks blank. It looks like something went wrong, but it did not. We got to load the configuration first. So we're going to load config. And And then once this loads up, we'll go to this NCAA Football, and then you got to go to this Zan's NCAA 14 Dynasty configuration. You're going to open this guy, and then once it opens, it's going to go through the process of doing that. Again, might take a little bit because it's a lot to load, but right here we go. Once it opens, we are good to go. Alrighty, so now once the configuration is loaded, now here comes the longer loading period. We got to load up our file. So again, I saved mine in the Test Dynasty folder because it's the most convenient. I go to my all, and I go to this first file. This first one, the file, not the database file. And then I click open. And again, this will take a little bit, so I'll be back with you as soon as that's done. Once it is, we'll move from there. Alrighty, here we are done with our loading process. Again, it's kind of a long process, takes about like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Just be a little patient, there's a lot to load, but once we do it, we're good to go. Alrighty, so we're gonna go right here, we're gonna go to our places tab, we're gonna bring up our file right here, we're just gonna confirm what we already know. Spread this guy out a little bit so we can see all the way across, at least to the games. There we go. So we're going to do that. We're going to sort by the games, and right there you can see it. All right, so our national championship has actually moved. We've got a different ID for it, or a different number, which is 40. See, this is why you check these things. So 40 for our national title. Our BBV Compass Bowl is 38 still, which is good. 36 still our Orange Bowl, and then 33 is our Rose Bowl. So we're good on that. We know the numbers. Now we're going to move, and we're going to go and start actually editing some things. So what you want to do is you want to go to this right here, the Scheduled Data tab. And then you want to go to the Schedules. You want to click the games once, twice, and you want to click the weeks once, twice. This will put it so everything is on, is backwards, I guess. So you'll get the last week stuff, you'll get the games backwards, so everything's kind of sorted in a way that you can find it easy. So right here you can see game 1. This is our game number 40, which is right here, our national title. So here's the part where you got to bear with me a little bit. It's kind of weird, it's kind of backwards thinking, but this is the way we've got to do it. So what you got to do is you got to go right here to where it says Miami. You got to click this drop down menu, and bear with me, you got to put Ohio in one of those, and you've got to put Mississippi State in the other one. Now, I know this is weird. We're taking the BBVA Compass Bowl teams, and we're putting them in the national title. Really backwards. Really shouldn't be this way, but this is the way that you can do it, and you'll save your data, okay? So now we're going to go to 38, which is the BBVA Compass Bowl. So now we're going to take the teams who are not involved. So we've got Miami of Florida, Texas A&M, UCLA, and Boise State. Those are the 4 teams we need. We have 2 leftover teams in Ohio State and Virginia Tech. So we're going to put them in the BBVA Compass Bowl. So we've got Ohio State, and we need to put Virginia Tech. So all you have to do is double click on where the name is, and you can edit it like this. And it'll bring a drop down menu and just find your team. So there we go. We've got Ohio State and Virginia Tech in the BBVA Compass Bowl, which, as you can see, is the game number that. Okay. Now, we need to go down and we need to find game number 36, which is just down here, Va-Tech against Boise State. So now, this is kind of where you're open to whatever. So you can put whichever team and whichever one makes more sense. So I'm thinking, since it's the Orange Bowl, I'm going to put Miami, Florida, and I'm going to put Boise State, which is 1 versus 4 in this game. That way, it's more of a home game for Miami, Florida. This is kind of just, more creative justice in the fact that, we're going to put a Florida team having kind of a Florida home game before if they win, they go to the national title and stuff like that. So right here, I've edited, I've put Miami of Florida against Boise State, and they're going to be in the Orange Bowl. Now we're going to move down to 33. We got to move. Now we're going to have UCLA against Texas A&M. So all we have to do is drop down here and have Texas A&M because we already have UCLA in here. Alrighty, so if I go down here, I'm going to draw a line right there. Try to spread all my things out so it's a little easier to read. So we've got Miami versus Boise State for the first matchup. This is a 1v4. And in this one, we've got Texas A&M. If I can type, A&M versus UCLA, which is a 2v3. Alrighty, there we go with that. We've got this all set up. So there's our 2 matchups. And then we have the leftover teams, which we've got Ohio State versus Vatech, which is right here. And then we have Ohio versus Mississippi State in the national title. But don't worry, it's not going to save like that, thankfully. So there's that in the Orange Bowl. Miami versus Boise State. UCLA versus Texas A&M. There's our matchup. Now, we've got to fix one more thing. We've got to go to the Team Schedules tab, which is right next to the schedule. It's under the same schedule data. And now it's just telling me my thing's being big. It likes to tell me what's going on. So we're going to do the same thing here. Games twice, weeks twice. There we go. So now what we've got to do is we've got to go through and we've got to edit where they play. So this is going to fix it on the actual schedule. So this is for the national title. We've got to fix it so the game number, or do we have to do that? I'm going to make sure really quick down here. Yep. Because basically it'll go down here and then there's the games right here. We just got to edit these guys. So for game 40, we've got to put Ohio. I think I have to scroll up for Ohio. No, I just don't know my alphabet. Ohio and these two. So you put them catty corner from each other or opposite of each other. So we got Ohio on this side, so we're going to need Ohio on the other side. And then right here, we're going to need Mississippi State on this side. Like so. Oop. Went away from me. There we go. We got to put Mississippi State here. Now we got to put Mississippi State here. Like so. Alright, there we go. So we got Ohio right here. Mississippi State against Mississippi State. That way, we've got it set up so they're playing in the national title. It is set up that way. So we're going to scroll down until we start getting to the other game numbers in the same week. So we've got to go to 38, which is right here. We've got to put Ohio State in 1. I'm going to actually put Ohio State in here because it's just 1 down from there. And Ohio State from here. I don't think it really matters either way you put them, just as long as they're both opposite of each other so they can recognize where they are. And then Virginia Tech in the other game. Let us do that. Right there, Virginia Tech. Alright, so both 38s are fixed. We've already fixed the 40. Now we've got to go to 36, which is right here. So we've got Boise State against Miami. And 36 is the Orange Bowl, okay? So all we got to fix is Virginia Tech, and we just got to put Miami in there. Let us see. Miami. Right there. And then right here. Miami. Right there. Okay, so we got Boise State and Miami, both of those fixed. Now we've got to go down to here, where it's UCLA and Ohio State. All we've got to put is Texas A&M, which is thankfully pretty close. Texas A&M. So we're going to do one last check really quick to make sure we did everything right. So in 33, we're going to have Texas A&M against UCLA, and we've got both of those fixed. Check. We got to go up to 36. We got to have Boise State against Miami, Miami against Boise State. Check. Now we've got to go up to 38. We got to have Virginia Tech against Ohio State, and then Ohio State versus Virginia Tech. Check. Then we go up here. We've got Ohio versus Mississippi State, Mississippi State against Ohio. Check. That should do it. We got everything set up. Everybody's bowls are set. We're going to save this, back out, and make sure that we are all good. So we're going to click this save button here. It's going to do this. It's going to give you the little loading screen when you're right up there, or this little circly dot, and then done. Once you get that done, you are good. You can exit out of the EADB editor. Alrighty. Now, we've got to bring back up Modio, and we've got to do the same thing we did before. Now, remember, we got to right-click it, and we got to replace the file. We are replacing the file on this. We're with our edited file. So there's our edited file. We just edited it about 9:30, and we're going to open it up. And there we go. It is all open and is good to go. Probably going to take a little loading time again. Alrighty, there she is. She's all good. And now we got to go again. Again, the save devices. Once you click this, it'll bring up a thing. You'll click to your thing. And right here, you got to make sure this jumps to save data and then back to NCAA football before you're done. So you're going to click this save to a device. It'll open up your device. You click on your gamer tag, whichever one that is. You click select. It's saving the file, and you'll notice it right down here where my arrow is. It'll do the thing where it says save data or save the device, and it's done. Now you're all good to go. You can exit out of Modio. Everything should be all good to go. We're going to right click here. Going to eject our USB just to be safe. It's all ejected, ready to go. And I will meet you back over at my Xbox, and we will start going into the last portion of, well, it's not the last portion. We got a few more things, but now we're going to see the what has happened now that we have edited our file.